Lovely. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am very happy to participate in this symposium. I think energy is universally today an index of development. People are looking at energy consumption as a way of trying to monitor the progress of nations. What has happened in the last few years is very interesting, especially with the advent of both NDE 5.0 and Industry 5.0. Suddenly, the world has woken up to the exciting possibility of trying to use data to really improve productivity both upstream and downstream of several of these petroleum industry. Now, this has actually brought in a very interesting synergy between disciplines, and today it is no longer a plant running in isolation, but then the hardware and software have seamlessly merged to create a wonderful area where data lakes can be created and data lakes can be assimilated in dynamically in real time to really monitor the productivity of many of these plants. Now, in this context, I would like to probably the word asset itself seems to have taken a broader scope in recent time. And some of the conventional words that we used to hear for a long time, including maintenance, metrology, to my effect, I think they are disappearing very slowly but quite disruptively from the community. People are able to do everything real time. In fact, in United States, I was surprised to see more than about 70 hydrofracking sites are being managed by a single dashboard in Houston. People are no longer looking at trying to do repair, proactive maintenance, condition monitoring. All of these words have suddenly become irrelevant. In fact, just about 2 weeks back, a company again in US has started ultrasonic testing using drones. So you may be wondering why aerospace people are hosting the symposium. Invariably, the unmanned aerial vehicles is playing such a big role. Today, the multicentric data fusion has become a reality. In fact, in this context, it is also interesting to note that IISc Aerospace Department has got a very good history of building drones and unmanned aerial systems. And you are able to even put a hyperspectral camera, multispectral camera, or even an infrared camera, and many such hardware is today possible on an unmanned aerial system. Now, it is here that there is another paradigm shift that has happened in the space sector. Now, people earlier used to actually rely on satellite data for a long time. Satellite data was something which everybody used to adopt. So, maybe just a random thought, I thought this is a good forum to rise. I think time has come for the entire energy sector to build its own satellite. And when I say this, its own satellite, I am actually looking at a much broader picture of trying to build maybe an array of micro satellites, because today electronics has shrunk. You can actually put a targeted sensor like say hyperspectral imager only to ensure that the image that you get from the satellite is in a form that you can process and create a data lake instantaneously, and across a cloud a software will be able to process that and you will be able to monitor many of your assets real time. In fact, the whole technology is heading in that direction, because satellite earlier was always limited by the hardware. The hardware, the electronic redundancies were all usually about a generation older. But today you are able to build small 10 kg, 1 kg satellite. Maybe Energy Institute and IISc should join together along with Energy India Network. Think of a satellite which will have specific payloads, maybe a hyperspectral imager. The moment you know what kind of frequencies are going to be absorbed even by the emissions that are coming out from say petroleum producing plants, automatically you will be able to monitor real time 24/7. But the data that you get from the satellite can be in a format which you can directly process, and that processing is possible provided you put a targeted hardware. So gone are the days where software is separate, hardware is separate. Everything seems to have merged. And I do really believe that cloud needs to be exploited to the fullest extent possible. If you don't transit towards the cloud, I think we would be left behind drastically. In fact, many leading companies, especially in the oil sector, have moved on to digital control abruptly in the last 3-4 years. While you take pride in saying that we have analog control systems in the huge oil fields, I think very quickly you will realize they say we are not producing them, so you need to move on to digital control. So it's a very interesting topic that Dr. Shamsundar, Bhumesh and others, Sinha Sahab, have taken an initiative to bring people from academia, industry together. Creation of data lake, in fact, an estimate says that India needs close to 25,000 data lake engineers in just about another 2 years. We simply do not have people who can actually plot the data in a format by which you can make useful decisions. So in that context, I think the energy asset management utilizing multiple imagery that is possible today, multiple sensor fusion that is possible today, utilize the cloud, utilize the speed of the software, and make a decision by which you can make a difference in the budget line of any company. Because ultimately technology is always driven by how much you're able to save to a company, because society never recognizes science. Society always recognizes technology. But without foundational science, there can be no technology. I think this is a very timely deliberation on how people from different disciplines can get together, create a wonderful vision for managing the entire asset. No matter how much we talk about net zero, we may not be moving away from fossil fuel in the next 40 years, because India has got a huge reserve of coal. How do you really convert better coal gasification methodology so that the emissions can be lower? You need chemists working together, chemical engineers working together, or the bacterial H2S emission in your pipeline calls for biologists to work together. Metallurgists have to come together on what kind of materials will be able to withstand corrosion monitoring, health monitoring of the assets. All of that can be done on a wonderful unmanned aerial vehicle, hopefully built by an aerospace engineer in the years to come. And I think maybe this is a good forum, Professor Sinha, that you should really look at, because Energy Institute is something which is focused on energy. You should launch your own student satellite with a payload where you can get the data directly on cloud and you don't have to process the data. Put the software already in the ground station so that we can make meaningful, contribution to maybe ONGC, Oil India. I think many oil major players are here. And of course, Shamsundar himself is heading the governing council of RGOPT. So maybe this is a good vision I thought I would share on this occasion. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Once again, welcome to IISc, welcome to Department of Aerospace Engineering. Thank you very much.